to the Velvet Room, a space for an open conversation about Black love, marriage, religion, and generational wealth. Sit back and relax and be prepared for a real discussion and open conversation. Like and subscribe.
Hey, y'all, how you doing?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
All right, all right.
Hey,
What's on?
what's up? What's up?
The much. Hey, so before we get started, man, how y'all been? What y'all been up to the last week?
What now?
What y'all been up
All
to the
is
last
well.
week?
All has been pretty good. Can't complain.
Cool.
Got a little
Today?
time to get some stuff done.
What you do, Kim?
Well, you know, I went back home this weekend to celebrate a surprise birthday party for my sister. She's turning 50 on
Okay.
Wednesday. So yeah, I've been traveling all day. So yeah,
Nice. Okay.
Now you ready to sit down?
I am sitting down. I've been sitting down traveling.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll tell you what, I had a party last night. I had a Christmas party. I scaled it down this year. Most of my family wasn't able to make it, so I only invited a couple of people. And even though it was only a handful, everyone still showed up. But that's fine. You know, again, I kept it small. I didn't want to have a big house party this time. But because the main reason why I do it is because of my family anyway. But you said you was there. We had.
Yeah.
I saw him all up in the camera.
Oh yeah. I have a little fun every now and then.
He was a little lady last night. Not
Well.
too litty. Just a little, you know.
So what?
He was a little lady last night.
A little lit.
Little litty.
Oh,
Little
gotcha.
litty,
Gotcha.
you know.
Oh, yeah.
Quite litty.
Yeah.
Getting there, you know.
Oh yeah.
Are you gonna do a New Year party?
You know what? I don't know. That's a very good question. More than likely, no. What's up, Jimmy? How you doing?
Hey,
You know, we missed you,
Hey,
brother.
Jimmy.
And I know, man, you need to be on tonight's show. If you can still feel you can get in, because I think it's part of just my.
I thought when you said, "Hey, Jimmy," I looked up. Thought I was gonna see his face, but I saw him coming, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Right.
You ain't ready for that smoke.
Now he ain't ready for it, you know.
I can't believe he's missing this topic.
Well, you already know.
Right.
Come on now, guys. You know, Jimmy, first of all, he don't miss a lot of shows. He missed the show. It's very important. He just don't miss the show. So we know it's important. Hey, brother, we with you, so we glad. We hope you be with
Because
us.
I need to hear from him what's the problem with black men. I need to hear.
Is that a
Well,
challenge?
hopefully we'll see it on his page. Hopefully he'll follow
Is
up.
that a challenge?
He'll make a comment or two.
I always have a challenge for him.
Hey,
Oh,
Jim, I want to see you follow up on your page after this show.
What?
He probably definitely do that. Check this out, everyone. Before we get started, the title of the topic today is the biggest problem with black men. And go ahead and hit the like button, love button, share to your page. Please, we just trying to get the word out. The main thing about this whole podcast is about it's about our culture. It's about the love of our culture. It's about solving problems, getting to the issues, talking about it, and just trying to really get back to the best we can be. Basically, what it's about. So let's get it. Go ahead, like, share to your page, and we're gonna go ahead and dive into the topics. everything. We don't have any news today because Eric was able to be in. But Eric, I'm pretty sure he'll chime in. Hey, brother Richie, he's doing some good stuff today, some good deeds. So I can't argue with that. So let's get it. You know, that music change. It's time to get down to the, you know. So
that's what it is.
That's what it is. So Kim, I know you're gonna love this topic. And I will too. So let's start. Let's do this right. We're gonna put you up here. All right. Okay. So we're gonna start with Kim. So I go next. We'll go to Houston, whatever. And after that, we just go back and forth. Whatever, all right. So I want to play a couple of videos first, and the videos are short. And once we play videos, I think that we would, we can talk about the topic again. Okay, here we go. Give me 1 second, make sure y'all can see it right now. I need to do present, share screen, and go to. Here we go.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with the woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
Women have no problem getting online talking about how men ain't ish, men are dogs, men, if a man isn't this tall, if he doesn't make this much, if he's too short, if he doesn't have a big D, if he doesn't have, buku money, if he can't give her the lifestyle that she wants, then he has no value. And we wonder why men are so frustrated, tired and done with relationships, tired and done with marriage, and they're focusing on themselves. And if you tell a woman the truth, if you actually say something, you get labeled with all these different things, and you are basically crucified.
Okay, all right. So let's go to the next one. Okay. All right. So the next one is going to be present. Let's go to. I'm going to play you 1 second. It's still playing. Now give me a second here.
You should. I don't know that this idea of build up a man, stick by your man, or even this idea of black love being encouraged was ever that you should marry the nigga on the porch, that you should marry Rudy or Bobby who be out on the corner slinging heroin, that you should be even hanging out with the niggas in the juke joint. You should be looking at the young man who comes to church every Sunday and then every Monday is in his blue work uniform, ready to go down to the plant and do his job, and who's bringing home a good, respectable living. Is that marrying down? It's not marrying up, right? But it is not marrying down.
Okay. All right.
You guys are at this huge disadvantage because it's like you've created an expectation that women have of men. I'm guilty of it. I would look at my husband like he's got it all together. He's got it all figured out. And when my husband and I started getting really transparent and vulnerable with each other in our marriage, I'm like, what? You mean you cry? You mean you're struggling with things sometimes, or you know, and I'm like, it was an eye opener, guys. I was like, men are just human, just like women. And there's no S on your chest. There's no, you're just, you guys are Academy Award winning actors. Men are trained to, from the time they're young, to suck it up, never cry, right? I mean, hide your truest emotion.
All right, let's talk about it. 1 second. Okay, so to get on that subject, Kim, let's start with you. I'll get the music queued up back again. All right. Okay. And what is your thoughts about that? There's a lot of things about black men, and I talked to a couple of ladies. I talked to one last night, and she was talking about that, and I do get it. So, what is your thought on that? As far as what is your biggest problem with black men?
I think that they are too comfortable with not doing enough. I think that they want, um, okay, I'm trying to see how I can sum this up and make it short. But I guess I would stick with what I said, what I just said. I think they have become too comfortable with not doing enough, with not creating a certain mindset, or not setting goals for themselves. I feel like they don't give themselves enough credit. Um, so they're stuck in a scarcity mindset where it's like, oh, this is just what we do, or this is how we do it, or this is what we are. Like I feel like it's a lot of mental things, that mental blocks, let me say it like that, that keeps them from excelling, or even if they want to excel, they feel like they can't, or they have so many barriers that's coming against them, that they feel like, I have heard men say, well, we got to carry all this on our backs. Well, who told you had to do that? Nobody told you. You choose to carry what you want to carry. And you also have a choice to release what you want to release. So I think it's just a stagnant mindset. I think that's the biggest problem with black men.
Right. And real quick, Jim Savage said that men are forgetting their worth. So, Kim, let me ask you, why do you think that is? Like, why do you think the problem? Like, why would you? I mean, I understand what you're saying, but why? What's the problem? What's the source?
Well,
Why you think
it could be multiple things. It could be like how they grew up. They could have grown up in a certain environment that was maybe somewhat in poverty, or they didn't have a lot, and they probably feel like, okay, so they're used to that, and even if they feel like they want to do more, they're stuck in the mind, so they don't try to do anymore. They don't have confidence in themselves. Like, a lot of them don't. I feel like a lot of them don't really believe in themselves, and they don't do anything.
Two things that you just said. So why don't you think they have confidence? Or why do you think they don't? Why do we don't believe in ourselves?
It's no one thing. They could have been told that you're not gonna. I know some people go through mental abuse when it comes to their parents and stuff, and they might have been told you're never gonna be anything, or you're gonna be like your dad, or you're gonna. So it's like, from being talked down on a lot, or just placing certain expectations on themselves that they feel like they have to live up to when it comes to society. So they may be depressed because they haven't gotten to that level, and because this is the level that society has created, and I'm not there. So it's a loss. So it's a lot of contributing factors.
Gotcha. So now, what you think? What's your opinion? What's your outlook on black men?
I have a few thoughts, and Kimberly touched on several points that I really do agree with. I think there is a diminishing sense of self-worth with black men. I don't think it's a new thing either. I think it's generational, cyclical. There are some systemic elements to it. Lack of affirming experiences, so that even if they wanted to think positive, a lot of the experiences around them affirm the opposite. I think that I don't want to say that just because a black man has a father in the home means that he had a better experience, because it could be that the father is the parent who is tearing him down as a black man because of his own lack of a sense of self-worth. I think there is a lack of mentorship and a valuable male interaction to give examples of what strength is, or even how to deal with feelings.
Right.
I think that there's an element of hive-mindedness in that the thing that seems to be the thing to think is the thing that I'm going to think. It seems to be the thing to think, as opposed to taking some time and really examining things,
Right.
and being brave enough to go against the status quo. I think that our men deal with that a lot, mainly because of how much flack they get for thinking differently than how other people think. I don't know. There's so many different pieces to
Right.
what's going on with our men. I know there's a
Right.
lot of systemic stuff, and there's just a lot of generational stuff, you know?
Right. I definitely agree. Houston, what is your thought as a black man? How do you feel? Maybe about what they said, or what do you think the problem is with us?
I'm listening to the ladies. They're hitting on some great points. I totally understand what they're saying. I agree with a lot of the points, but at the same time, well, first of all, let me say this: some of the issues I think I have with black men that we need to work. We don't work together. We don't work together. You know, we can sit in the barbershop, talk to each other, not even know each other, but you know, kind of come together on a football game. But we can't come together to work on somebody's car to get them to go back to work, or we might not even ask somebody for help on stuff. So we always trying to do stuff on our own. You know, as black men, we try to do it all ourselves.
Why do you think it is though?
Because we're not taught. We didn't see it. We didn't see it. Some of us saw it. I saw it because I had great uncles. You know, dad was there. My uncles were there. Grandfather was there. The deacon in the church was there. I mean, I saw guys working together. So, you know, Hollywood, you mentioned that to me, well, you know, maybe a couple of weeks ago. It's like, you know, so many people and you don't mind helping somebody and trying to grow and do different things, because failure to me is only a learning experience.
Right.
But a lot of time in the black community with men, it's like, if we try something that don't work, wait, man, let me go. I'm not saying all, but then they gonna go ready to go sling something to get some money. And that's the first thing we're gonna do is jump back to doing whatever we saw in the neighborhood or what we thought can get us some quick money.
Why do you think we want quick money though?
Why do we? You said why do we? I think we do that.
No, why do we want quick money? Like why do you think we go back to that so quick?
Because that's what we see in the neighborhood. That's what we see in the community. You know, in some cases, not all cases, but we see something in the community that when you get in trouble, most of the time we're in trouble because of finance, or we want that money, you know, to make our situation better. And the fastest way to do it is through experience of what you've seen. If you've seen somebody washing cars in the neighborhood to make money, you're gonna grow up and be like, let me get me a little car wash. Let me figure out how to be a slight mechanic or heating and air. But we don't get to see that in the black community. And the ones that we see doing it, you know, they almost get labeled as a sucker. He a laborer. He worked, and that's not shined. You know, it's not really looked at as anything of importance, or it doesn't shine us in a great light.
Right.
It's changing, but you know, the first thing for men, and it's hard to say being a black man, a lot of everything that we do, everything that we do is either for money or women, because we were brought up that that's the most important thing. When you're 7, 8, 9 years old and your uncle or somebody asks you got a little girlfriend, you know, how things going at school, you got any little girls yet? You know, that's just the thing that we would kind of everybody would talk about.
Right.
So we don't learn to work together. We quick to get upset with each other over something and ready to fight, shoot, or somebody stepped on my shoe, or somebody in my community. You don't even own anything in that hood.
Right.
But you ready to shoot somebody over a neighborhood that you renting in. And it's a mindset. It's a mindset. You know, so and we don't know how to create other opportunities for ourselves.
Right.
And it's systemic. And it is systemic, you know, because we have grandparents or great grandparents that had 20 acres of land. We had grandparents that had a house here or a farm here, but it's gone because it was taken away from them. And now all they know is just work, work, work. And then they kind of taught that keep your head down. Don't let the man see you do so and so and so. Don't do this. And it's still passed down.
Right. Right. I want to say that, first of all, ladies, I'm going to say this. I know men ain't shit. I mean, I know that men, we do a lot of bad things. I still feel like at the beginning of the day, a lot of the ways that women feel is, I think that men have to take accountability for the way that women feel towards us, because I think we've done it to women. I don't think any women would feel like that if something was done to them, whether it's their mother, give them some education, like, look, it's because she learned, never let a man do this because she learned from it. And I think that, I'm going to say first, if I believe in God, which I do, and I go back to the principle of the man being first, then that means that as a man, I have to admit that if the man is first, if so-called he is, that means men have to take accountability. I think one thing about leadership, we have to understand that men, if you want to be a leader comes with actually being accountable for when things go wrong. Every company has a CEO. Everything does not go right all the time. There's no such thing. But he still is a leader. All you have to figure out what's the next move. But he also becomes better when you're able to admit you're wrong. I think a lot of problem with men nowadays is that, I don't want to think God is always the answer, because everyone doesn't believe in God. I understand that. I do. But I think that you need to believe in something, follow some type of philosophy besides yours, and follow something that's going to be positive. It doesn't matter what you believe in. You call it whatever you want to call it. You can call it voodoo, whatever. But as long as it's good, I think our problem in society is we're not helping each other enough. In our culture, I think that the problems we have when I look at social media, I don't see Chinese people having these problems or talking against each other the way we do. I feel like there's a war going on between our culture, between black men and black women. And one thing I realized is that we cannot help the situation we were born in. That's what, and I actually had to thank God one day. If you were born, whatever situation you was in, it wasn't that bad. I was born in a house with a mother and a father, but not only that, my father worked really hard. He was 100% provider. My mother did not have to work until I was 12, 13. So I seen what a provider is. I know what a provider is. My father worked very, very hard. At the same time, I watched a man, my father did not curse at my mom. He didn't raise his hand at my mom. He never put her down. Did they fuss? They fuss. I see him sometimes get my mom out of bed, like I've been working all day long. My day works 12, 14 hours. And he get home late at night, there's nothing to eat. He'll get my mom out of bed, argue with her like, I got nothing to eat all day. You been here all day? That made me mad. I almost said something one day. I probably would not be living right now if I did. But I realized as I got older, this man was working all day long to support his family. And when I worked my dad one time, and my father did janitorial work, he did floors. And one time I had to get on my knees. I had solution and stuff on my knees with a razor strip in the floor. I looked at him and think to myself, I can't believe he did this to support us. Like I almost cried at the time because I couldn't believe, I'm not sure if I could have did it every single night by himself. So my thing is, sometimes, it's the environment we grew up in, which we cannot help. And we only know what we know in our own world. I think that when we go outside in the world, now when we start to get together, you have these different problems that either she had or he had, and we don't know it. And now you put it together and say, okay, he got problems. I think we all got problems, but I think that women need to be a little more lenient. I do understand, but as men, first of all, I don't think that as men, as black men, we take responsibility for the things we've done to black women and say, like, hey, let's be honest. That, I understand black men, we done this, we done wrong. We did not, we weren't doing the things we're supposed to do. But at the same time, we're gonna fall short sometimes. And we need a little help. Would y'all say that, I think Kim and Sanaa, you said it, sometimes it's just a matter, it's just a lot of different things that we cannot help. It's just the environment that we're in. And I really want to talk about the subject. I feel like women really, I understand women's pain. I just think there's a lot of men out there that's not trying to be righteous, not trying to be good, and they lost their way and they're not following anything at all. They're just in the dark, just trying to figure out on their own. That's why I choose to follow something. Look who just popped in.
Oh, Lord.
So, but anyways, to Jimmy get ready. We'll let Jimmy come in and speak in a minute. But until then, what do y'all think?
I think.
I just got one question. When you said you think women should be lenient, what do you mean by that?
Well, just like you lenient towards your son. I mean, again, you give your see.
That's different. That's different. See,
No,
why do you love comparing a son to a man? That's your child is different.
that's the problem. Listen, because that's a male. The first relationship that a man has with the opposite sex is his mother. Same thing with you guys. So I realized even with women, even dating, I realized some of them don't know what a real man is. Why? Someone never seen it. It still starts from the beginning, regardless. So if your mother and father, if you have an issue, this is what I have noticed. Some men that have issue with women, they also have issue with their mother. I've seen some relationships with some of the mother, and it's like that, where they just can't get along. When he get a girlfriend, he also had the same type of friction with the same woman because it started at home. So my thing is though, if you forgive your son, because my point is, none of us are perfect. You're gonna mess up sometimes. Sometimes you're gonna be at a weak point. We'll have to help you. But it's like, where's the room for, like, we can't do everything right. That's impossible. So why would you?
What I'm hearing, what I'm hearing you say is what I'm hearing you say is grace, not lenience. Lenience is not the same as grace. Lenience is like if you have to pull a tight rope and you put in slack in that rope and now things are not moving how they're supposed to move. Grace is if it gets caught up on a rock, you have a little bit of patience and try to work through that hurdle. Those are two different things. Right. Lenience is basically leaving the room for these things to keep happening that are harmful to having a successful relationship. You know what I'm saying? And really, he needs to work through those issues with his mom. That's not a me problem. Just like if I have daddy issues, it's not a him problem.
Right. It will be if y'all get together, right?
I got to work on it. I got to work on that. He's got to work on his mommy issues.
That's where accountability comes from. It's not about even before you get with a person. That's the whole purpose of working on yourself and to prepare. That's another problem with people. They don't work on themselves to prepare for marriage or prepare for a healthy relationship. But they want to say, oh, I'm going to wait till I get a woman and let her help me. I'm going to wait till I get a man and let them help me heal. No, baby, that's your job.
But if that's the case, if that's the case, in more marriages, the people that's married can tell you that there's a lot of times where somebody's going to fall short. And that's what you're there for. That's a part of the game.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you won't fall short because we're all human. Of course you're going to fall short. But what I'm saying is there is a job that only you can do on yourself. Nobody else can help you with. That is your responsibility to do. Not your partner, but yours. They can't help you with it. I don't care how much they love you. I don't care how much grace they have for you. You have to work on yourself and fix yourself.
So how do we do that?
Well, here's the thing.
You gotta admit to yourself what is your issue. You gotta find out what your issue is.
Right. Hollywood, I understand what you're saying, but I see where the girls are coming from. Here's part of the problem, though. A lot of people are getting together because they can't even figure out what the issue is. They need comfort for someone else. Mm-hmm. So when someone's 21 years old or 19 and he's getting it with this girl, it's because he's trying to fill a void that he don't know what that void is. But laying up with this woman makes him feel good. And she's laying up with him because one, daddy ain't there. And then this is the real first man that she's got in her life. And sometimes dad is, and she just want to go astray and do whatever. And so the problem that they have, and they don't even realize is there. They finding comfort in everything else. So that's when I see people at the age of 30 and 35 and I'm just saying, use this as an example. Now, you know what? I'm gonna take time and work on myself. I hit it. I'm working on myself. But you hear that once you start hitting 28, 29, 30. You don't hear that at 18 because they don't know that that's a problem.
You don't know. Right.
So for black men, I think a lot of the problems that we're having, one is it starts at home. A lot of stuff isn't showed to them at home. Whether it's sometimes and the whole thing with mom and dad not being together, they may not have to be in the same house, but they have to come to an understanding. We got to work on raising this young man because mom is a comfort. A lot of moms, I'm not saying the two on the panel, but a lot of moms cuddle these young men so much. And well, baby, it's gonna be all right. She's supposed to do that. That's what mothers are for. But dads or uncle or somebody pull him to the side and say, look, now I know your mama told you that you fell down and she babied you up, but you need to shake that off. I know you had a little girlfriend and she hurt your heart, and mom said, "Oh God, no, baby, I know it'll be all right." But a man needs to come along and tell you, "Look, that's gonna happen a whole lot more in your life. That's just part of life until you find the right one." But we baby these men so much, these little young boys. Then they grow up to be 20, 21, and we on panels like this talking about.
Right.
Now,
I agree. I don't do that, by the way. I don't do that. I don't believe in doing that.
But you then
I mean, I was just talking about me. I'm sorry.
right.
About
But that's the thing that we got to do too. We got to realize, we're not just talking about ourselves. We know people. We know people that do that. We know people that if they done wrong at school, boy or girl, they're gonna go out there and raise hell and try to figure out why you talking my son this way, why this is happening.
Yeah.
But when they get older and they're doing the same thing to their girlfriend, now you're looking at the girlfriend like there's a problem because you're still backing your son or daughter. You may not do that. All that stuff turns young men into what we see today, and older men because they never learned it because they got 4 or 5 kids, but they still never learned how to be a man and realize, I shouldn't have been out here doing all this. It's still a problem.
It's a lot of undiagnosed men running around here too.
Yeah.
A lot of undiagnosed.
A lot of them don't want to go to therapy. They don't want to get help. They just sit in their stuff and want other people to just deal with it. And that's not gonna happen.
But I think
that's in front of you though.
But here's the problem.
What now?
I said, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, what I was gonna say is, but the problem isn't the two of you on this panel. The problem comes into play is when certain women deal with them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then
you can say me, I've been that woman.
So what now?
I said you can say me, I've been that woman.
But see, I don't know that for sure. I'm just saying in general. There are women that are still gonna date this guy, even though he has been in trouble a whole lot, even though he has shown in the past, because somebody else done told you, well, he got 2 kids over here with so and so, and but they still gonna deal with him. Right. And I'm not saying that he's a bad guy. I'm just saying if the cards are on the table, a lot of women are still dealing with these things, especially when they're young, and then they fuss about it later. But if it's just like I tell guys, if you know a girl is out here with any and everybody, she might be easy, but that ain't really where you need to go, because if you slip up and have a child, now you got a child with this lady, and then you talk about how bad of a baby mama she is, but she already showed you what she was, so you still dealing with that. So we make those bad decisions. So as black men, we got a lot to work on our decision making. We rather go get with the chick around the corner than let's keep it 100 and go home and take care of ourselves and go to sleep. We're gonna go around the corner because it makes us feel better. And those are some of the issues we got to work on. We just got to do it ourselves. What you said is true. We got to work on ourselves. We got to go get some help and try to move forward from there. Because there's a lot of stuff that's holding you back. You didn't get your degree. Everybody ain't got to have one. We got a hard time trying to find a job paying over $15 an hour, but you still want to go date somebody. You still want to want a car and pay insurance and some nice shoes and try to take somebody on a date off of $15 an hour. It's hard to do.
Right. And not to mention if you had kids and no responsibility. Because I know I ran into cases where I'm telling y'all right now, any woman that my kids come first. I don't care about a dinner. My kids gonna come first. So if my ex-wife give me a call and say, look, your daughter needs $200, and I'm talking to the lady, she said, can you go out tonight? I'm going, no, I can't go. It's just simple as that. It's not even a second thought about it. But I do want to talk about healing for a second too, because I dealt with a lot of women in this dating scene that talks about healing. Healing is not just getting over it. Healing, some people think healing is, I got past that person. Healing is get down to the root of where it started. And I'm telling you right now, I talked to a lot of women. Most women have not done the work on themselves like they think they have, because I asked them one question, and this tells me everything. And this with everyone. Ask the person, what could they have done better? And that relationship they didn't like, ask them. If they keep saying, well, the next time I'm going to make sure that the man, no, baby, you choosing. We all have a part in the choice. So then you have to get down to the bottom of, why did I choose that type of man? What is it in me to keep drawing me to that type of person? So sometimes we think we did the work because I'm over that person. I did the work. I'm over that. That's not what doing your work is. Doing your work is getting out to the bottom. And most of the time, you find out it starts at your childhood, at your mother and your father. Go back to the root of where it started. We all do. I found out still now, I'm dealing with things right now. We all are. But you have to understand where it comes from first. So you meet another guy and you think you heal from that person. You're not healing from the situation, because I think sometimes it's still there. And then we deal with somebody else and it's still underlined back there. And soon you start having your fears, you start looking at certain things and dealing with a certain way. So I just think that when it comes to healing, people gotta understand what healing is. Healing is going to therapy, and the therapist will ask you, she's gonna try to get down to the core of where it started. Until you, as ladies and men, take responsibility for everything y'all done, men and women, it will never be solved. We all have issues. Every one of us do. And no one is perfect. But when you get together, you don't run, you just try to figure it out. And even when you get married, it can be perfect in the beginning. And then you get into it, you find there's still issues. There's no way you can always know it all. You can get into it. Now you're married. Now you have to figure it out. You got to talk to each other. They have to open up, which is the number one thing I realized with relationships. People never ask certain questions. We want to know how much money you make, what's your favorite color, where you go out and eat at. But no one really asks certain questions to really try to get down and get to know each other. But I think that's where the problem is, because once you find someone you can open up to, like really open up, you really tell the person your darkest secrets, y'all can really have this type of conversation where you feel like, this is my best friend. That's where it's at. But we don't look for that. We just look for the situation and see if it's a good fit, everything else, but not for a really good fit for the person I can really talk to. Because men, it's hard for us to talk to people, whether y'all realize it or not. We don't easily open up, but it's part of protection. We don't supposed to be open up just telling everybody everything. We learned that. That's part of our trait. Everything with us is all about protection anyway. So even as little boys, we taught not to hold our feelings in, to not express our feelings. I get it. Why? Because we have to be tough. Why? Because it's part of the protected image. We all know dealing with guys, our protection is you can never let another man know your weakness. And if you sit there crying all the time and do something, you cry, he got you. So we go out in the world, we got to put on some persona to be tough. When we come home, y'all wants to be so many other things. It's hard to keep adjusting to life because she's over here talking about this, and it's just hard to keep adjusting. But for me, I feel like that is.
What you thinking, Queen?
Well, you have mentioned therapy when it comes to healing, and I'm 100% on board with that. I also happen to know that therapy is not the only way to heal. Therapy might not even be the thing for some people, but having a support group might be the thing. Having a group of like-minded individuals who have similar experiences and different perspectives to help grow you, that village that a lot of men don't have, because it's not just the world against them, it's also each other against them, and then their woman against them. You know what I mean? And so who are you sharpening your iron against in that case? You know what I mean? Right. So I think that even support groups, you hear about, I'm not looking down on no dude from the hood because he's from the hood. I was raised in the hood.
Right.
I'm looking at him like, okay, well, what's next? Right. However, if that's how you grew up and every time you turn around, you hear about one of your friends losing their lives. Because I think we all remember there was a time when a Black man making it to 25 was a big deal in a lot of circles, right? So every time you turn around, one of your homeboys is gone. Like, that's it. Y'all just spoke a few minutes ago. Did he get grief counseling? Did he have any type of support group or anything? Mine's still spinning behind that. And then you turn around and it happened again and it's a regular thing. Then there's the thought of, is it going to happen to me or when or whatever, right? There's that. I know all Black men don't live that type of lifestyle, but police are still out there, right? There's so many different things. So when do you have the conversations, that are, again, validating, where you can be built up by people who are like you, who think like you, or may have healthy perspectives for you? I don't know a lot of men that go to support groups, unless it's like a NA group or something like that. But that's not the only way to get support among each other,
There's still a stigma for Black men sometimes. And kind of like what Hollywood said, a lot of times you don't let another man know what your weakness is. So you have to be careful who you surround yourself with to be able to speak. But I think men need to do that more. and being able to speak about what's going on with you, what's on your mind, what you thinking about, what made you even think to do a certain thing or keep you from doing a certain thing. So, like you said, we have to spend that time to find help or to get a group of guys that you can't, even if it's one or two, that's going to lead you in the right direction. Not somebody that's going to agree with you, because you don't want anybody, you don't need anybody that's going to agree with you. Yeah, your baby mama is crazy. She crazy. I would have done the same thing. I ain't gonna lie. That I wish she would have. She told me so and so. That's not what you need. But it's the same with women. They don't need that same thing. Where you're not letting your baby father see your kid or his son or daughter because you pissed with him or because he says what he did in the past to you.
Right.
And then you got girlfriends agreeing with you. Girl, I wouldn't let him see him either. He ain't paying but $40 a month. He ain't even paying enough to go see that child. That you don't need that.
Right.
You don't need that. So you need someone to kind of tell you the truth. Well, baby, you know how old folks are. Well, baby, I know that you don't like that man, but that is his father. And you might not realize it, but he's learning something from his dad by just hanging out with him while he getting the tires changed or talking with the boys or just riding in the car over at McDonald's. He's sitting there looking at his dad tickle because that's a lying to him, whether he is in money or not.
Yes. Yeah.
You look at our dads that way.
Right.
If my dad's a drug dealer, we looking at he a kingpin in our eye, but he might be fourth on the totem pole. Right? But that's not how we see it. So,
all right. I want to go ahead from the man real quick. So now go ahead and say what you're saying. We can go to Jim because we don't let Jim say anything. So bad.
Nah, I don't want to do it. I saw a comment in the chat, but I'm hoping one of the men will speak on that. Because
we'll go all the way back. We'll go through the comments. So
see, I can't see the comments right now.
There are a lot of good ones. Jim, what is your thoughts?
I have a lot of thoughts. I'm 100% on men's side no matter what. No. It doesn't take away from what we need and expect and love from women and the respect that we should give them. I'm just saying that what I see nowadays is the way men are disrespecting themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because to be honest with you, if you want to roll in the skin and the vibe and the bones and the structure of a man that you are, nobody can disrespect you. You allow anything to happen to you. You know what I'm saying? Mm. So, and that's what men are losing nowadays. They're losing their self-worth. Once you realize that you are the man that you are, and realize, because you're not going to be 100% at that time until you realize what you need to do to become or work hard to be that. The pursuit of happiness is the man that you're supposed to be. That's what I'm going to look for. Pursuit to be the man that you're supposed to be. And I'm on my journey of that. So I'm realizing everything around me and who I want to be. If someone doesn't go along on that train, I will not allow them to be in my life or let them down me or put me in position for me not to be the man. Sometimes somebody slips through, but you got to realize, you know what I'm saying? So in order to realize, you got to have a self-worth for yourself. And it's selfish. People like to use the words that make real sense and make them a negative word. Selfishness is not something you should look down on. When it comes down to taking care of anybody, you have to be selfish to get yourself right so you can take care of that person. That makes you the bigger person in the whole situation. You know what I'm saying? And you have to have a big heart for that. So what I think men are missing is their self-worth, their knowledge of self-worth. And we don't have a lot of people telling men or coaching men or reminding men who they are supposed to be and what they're supposed to do in life. And in my situation, for that. You know what I mean?
And don't you think, I feel like there's a lot of programs that really encourage women, women's empowerment, but I don't really see many programs to empower men. I feel like men are, we can be a problem. We might be a problem to women, but there's nothing encouraging men. So we're always just kind of just left on our own, period. No one cares about the black man, period. Well, and then we're in our own society. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I got something for me though.
Okay. No, that's all I'm going to say, but you go ahead.
Well, and yes, sir, you're absolutely right. But what I'm saying is this: we know this. If we're given knowledge is power. If we're given knowledge of knowing that nobody respects men at all, we change up. We do what's right for ourselves. We got to switch it up. We don't
Respect
stay
yourself.
stagnant. Men who stay stagnant. We never have. So what we do is we know that people don't respect us. In order to get respect, you demand respect. You get it. You know what I'm saying? You go get it. You prove to yourself first. Then you prove it to yourself. Shows a different aura in yourself, which will prove to them by just looking at you who you are. Your aura speaks for you. So when you roll and walk in the shape of the man that you're supposed to be, there's no denying who you are. Nobody can stop you. Nobody can do anything to you. And that's what men need to do for themselves first, because that's the world that it is today. Nobody's gonna do shit for you until they see that you're doing shit for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Right. So once you realize and fight for that feeling and that structure of your life that you want for yourself, and realize every word that you use in a situation that brings you to a bad moment or a good moment, realize what you're doing in life, remember what you do, and then you go about that. You try to perfect or critique your life to make a better man of yourself. You have to do it for yourself now. Nobody's going to do it for you. As we see, there's no fathers in the home no more. So in order to get a good father in the home, you need to critique yourself to be the best father you're going to become, to teach your sons to be that father so they can start the cycle again.
Right. I think Sanaa want to say something, right?
Yes, you do.
Well, because I have a lot of thoughts, and some of them are not necessarily popular, but I don't care. You know, when you think about accountability, when you think about raising young men and things like that, one of the things that came to mind while you were talking about, say, a mom not, letting the children be around the dad, I think if he's only paying $40, that's a ridiculous reason not to let that child build a relationship. A relationship between a child and a father is invaluable. You can't put a price tag on that. If what the child will learn from that dad while building a relationship with that dad is detrimental to a successful future for that child, that's a whole nother other story, right? So there are levels. I think we all know that there are levels. But one of the things that I was thinking about that you said, Jim, about being selfish, I call it self-care. You gotta do self-care no matter what. And if you don't have the battery to be what everybody wants you to be, you're gonna have to recharge in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But what I find interesting is just, for example, you can have a Black man spend his money on a couple of suits to look presentable. Whether he's working or not, he wants to present himself in a certain way. And you'll have some folks to look at that man and go, you know what? He must be about something. Let me give him a shot. Then you'll have some other folks look at that man and go, who does he think he is? He don't got no money for all of that. So a lot of when you're dealing with different things that people have to say, you really have to develop this Teflon exterior that is not so moved by all the things that are going to come at you. And my belief is that the more you have to offer the world, the more is going to come at you anyway. So you really got to figure out a way to let that just roll off you. Slick like a can of oil, but not slick in the way where the people around you can't rely on you, can't trust you, can't hold you at your word, and you're not on your square. You know what I mean? I think there's so many nuances, but who guides you through that? Especially when fathers aren't in the home.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Common sense. We need to bring common sense back to life.
I think that women are some to blame for this, though. Because of, I think back in the late 80s, early 90s, when guys was being drug dealers on the corner. The only reason why guys sell drugs, of course, to get money, get the car, get the chain. What does that get you? Women. Mm-hmm. So I think back then, and then in the meantime, mothers were encouraging women to go to college. For me, I've talked to women sometimes, and they were like, "Oh, you sound like you white," because I'm talking correctly. So it wasn't cool to go to school. What was cool was giving women what they want. So that's what guys became the focus. It wasn't education. It was about, let's get this money. Let me look good. Let me get the car, because it gets the women. In the meantime, women kept going to school. They got the degree. The jobs opened up, computer worlds, everything else. Now women making the money. It's a gap. Men were left behind. because we were after to please the women in the first place. Because back then, the women, the drug dealer dudes, the thugs, they got the women. The school dudes did not get the women. I never heard a woman like say, like, you sex because you go to school. They don't say that. It wasn't encouraged for us to go to school as a culture. So now there's a gap. I think the women, are partially, not all, because as a man, I have to take responsibility, like be accountable. But I think women have a little bit to do with it because I think we were after to try to please the women in the first place. So what's still the matter? Money, women. So now we ain't got it because we didn't get no degree, and she got a degree, she's making money, it creates a gap. That's my opinion. What do y'all think?
So you're going to blame it on us that the woman was the most important thing?
No. That's all I'm saying. No, that's all I'm saying. No, to be honest, in order for us to get one, like it is now, it's about money. And the flashier dudes got all the chicks. That's how it was. And the drug dealer was in style, and then the music videos like MTV and BT, it created this image, and that made the popular guy the thug dudes, the dude with the wife beaters, dude with the Timbs and the jeans. Not an educated guy going to school. That wasn't paid in music video. So that came popular. That came the end guy, not the dude going to school. Now we've created a gap that we didn't understand what was going to happen. And now we don't have an education. So we only used to working. So now that working shit ain't going to work. Because if you don't have a degree, it's not but so much money you're going to make. But that's how I see it. That's what I think actually happened.
Everybody's just looking. I get it. I get it. And the reason why I say that is because, yeah, back in the past, in the 80s and 90s, that's true. But now, it's like it's a new day and age. We're older. I'm looking at some of the guys that are younger than me, like 25.
Right. Well, let's ask this question, though. How many of us got a degree?
BET and all that stuff doesn't help any. These TV shows don't help any because I still think, I'm kind of jumping a little bit. This whole saggy pants thing, I thought that was going to die out 10, 15 years ago. It's still here. It doesn't make sense to me. It's part of the culture, and it doesn't help progress or make
How many times do women actually run to men is actually educated and have degrees? I don't think that's a common thing that women run into now. I could be wrong. I'm not a woman, but I don't think that I found more women with degrees now and making really good money than I do men with degrees. But that's just my opinion. Y'all don't think so?
I think it's just some of the women that you're running into. There's a lot of people that don't have degrees. You got to look at the area that we're in.
A lot of people. A lot of people.
That makes it.
When we come to money, unless you have your own business, you're an entrepreneur, and she have a degree making $100,000 a year, you ain't gonna get $100,000 a year without a degree. I don't know any jobs that you're gonna get. If she's making that amount of money and you're not an entrepreneur, what job can you name that you can be making $100,000 a year, 6 figures, with no degree?
I'm gonna push back on that because if you look at the statistics, there's only about 2% of women making $100,000 a year.
I know a lot of us close to it.
98% of women that are not making anywhere near that. So the average salary overall for men and women is about $60,000. So
you think that money is important?
What's the figure? 2%. 2% is a percentage of a population of what?
Women in general. I might be off by a percent or two, but it's not like 30% or 40%.
But I'm asking for round numbers, so because when you give statistics, it for people who don't understand how that works.
Yeah, because I've read up on it before because there had been a big statement about women making all this money, and men and women, black or white, they're not making that kind of money. There's a few people that are making that kind of money.
Listen to my question. Is it like 2% of 1,000 or 2% of 100,000, 2% of a million?
The 2% came in the United States.
So a couple million people. So that's still a couple 100,000.
Right.
That's not a small number. That's the population of entire towns in some places. So it may not be me or you, but it is a lot of people.
Okay.
So what is the money gap then? What is the cause of the money gap then? The money gap. Why is it that? Because I still say for the most part, when I see most of them are making more money than men, what is the cause of the money gap then? If that's what I'm saying is not true.
Well, the money gap is
my opinion.
Yeah, the money gap is education. It's a known fact that women went to school and got a degree, and even in black and white, there's a gap. Where women went to college, men did not. Men went to work and had a regular job. And some of the jobs that the women were getting, No, they're not so much in engineering. It's not so much in construction or anything that builds, but they got their degree for computers. They're doing jobs that takes not so much paying paperwork, because there's a lot of work behind that. There's a lot of thought in the jobs that they have. So I'm not trying to say that it's not important, but they went to school and got an education in certain things, and now they're able to move along and move up that scale. And that was part of the plan too, that the women were able to get the education, and then they got grants and the whole nine to push that forward. But they didn't do that with black men. They didn't say, hey, here's $40,000 for you to go to college. They were there, but a lot of us didn't know about it because my dad didn't mention it. My uncle didn't mention that. They say, hey, go to work, you get you a good job, and you can get some a pension and a retirement. You're gonna be set. That's the mindset that they had.
Here's something interesting though, because my circle in college was half men, half women.
Mm-hmm.
And out of all of us, the men were the ones literally making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And a lot of us, just doing what we do.
A lot of who? You said
a lot of the women out of my group. This is anecdotal. Out of my group of friends, half men, half women, went to the same school. We had different backgrounds in school. One is a very successful lawyer. One is a pastor of a mega church. One is a successful producer. One is a successful real estate person selling homes to, people in the NBA. Among the women, some of us are on that level. Some of us are doing the entrepreneur thing. Some of us are working regular 9 to 5. So from my experience, it's the exact opposite of what we're sitting here talking. But even though that's my experience, I realize that what you're saying is also true. So here's the thing about that. Depending on your environment, this may or may not be true. So some of us don't really understand this fact. Also, a lot of us know that just because women went to school and got all these degrees and are making, more money than men for the purpose of this conversation, a lot of men also went and got trade certificates and ended up making a lot of money from that perspective.
Right.
Because some still do believe that labor is a thing. It's not really about a degree. You know what I'm saying? I think it just depends on.
You think that women have a lot of choices of guys that's really make a lot of good money?
I don't know, because there's already more women than men to begin with. That's why I can't stand this conversation. We're already outnumbered.
Right.
It's just like the single conversation. A lot of us are going to be single because there's not enough of y'all. So
why there should be polygamy.
I'm not even having.
Ain't nobody listening to that Noah G. I'm talking.
Here's the thing, though.
Ain't nobody listening to Noah.
Let him talk. Let's get him.
I know. I'm messing with him.
You can say that, but here's the thing: if you got two men are the ones that's supposed to support, lead, and take care of a woman. You got two men that's willing to give you the utmost life you need. Why not? Why not? You're doing it anyway. There's women out there that have a husband and then have a side dude. That's polygamy. There's a woman out there who has a husband that's fucking a random dude. That's polygamy. So
that's cheating. It's not polygamy.
Whatever polygamy it is messing with two men at the same damn time. Already doing it. Why can't you structure your life for structure and have two men structure your life for success?
Kim, you should have been up here. Now after him getting it right up
came up here. That's why she left.
What you saying?
I came up there. That's my arch nemesis right there.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be in the comments when I come up. I see how it is.
Just choose to be single. You can. So anyway, you got. Go ahead.
Sorry, you know what we're missing? Like I said before, the knowledge within. The knowledge within ourselves. That dopamine, that fucking adrenaline, we're chasing that nonstop. When you want to date a person, you're looking for him or her to make you feel good all the time. That dopamine. Right. You're looking for the dope. And what we're not realizing is
Lord, here she goes.
Also,
here we go.
Distraction. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It can be a distraction.
Go ahead, Jimmy. Finish what you were saying, Jimmy. Go ahead.
Excuse me. You gonna tell me to finish while I was trying to finish?
No, I'm saying like because I just popped back in, so I just
You gonna pop in with demands. I see what it is. See, you see how it is? Man, watch out for that shit. They were popping in with demands. They don't even know the conversation. So this is what we doing.
I was listening.
Yes, you was. So that dopamine, love you, Kim. That dopamine, that adrenaline rush that comes from a relationship, that comes from a man making money that can give you something right away. If we pay attention that quick fix ain't gonna get you nowhere, but the wrong fix in the future, that will lead you to believe that you need to take your time with a person. You need to get to know a person. Just because they got money don't mean they're gonna treat you right. Just because they're fucking you good don't mean they're gonna fuck you good later. Doesn't mean they even have the capability of taking care of you because they fucking you good. That's not a relationship. You gotta understand the difference between the people you put yourself and involving yourself in. Everybody has a purpose, but it doesn't mean that's the person you need to be with or try to work a relationship out. You gotta know the difference. And that's the thing that we need to start seeing inside ourselves to make better decisions in life, the persons and the people we pick to deal with. That's why we build a circle when it comes to friendship. But why you ain't building a circle when it comes to the people that you try to build a relationship with that lasts that long, that you want to marry, want to be with? You need to change your lifestyle for yourself before you start changing it for somebody else.
Wait a minute, Cam. Let me go smoke my cigar. I'm just gonna enjoy this one. Go right ahead. I know I ain't saying that.
Now, going back to this, I heard you talk about the polygamy thing. I know. I don't.
I'm trying to figure out why y'all even gonna let that roll. Y'all talking about black men. Y'all gonna get.
I'm trying to let it roll. I'm gonna try to let it roll.
So here's the thing, though. Okay, we know that there are, more women than men, and for some reason, I think men have an issue when a woman says, "I don't mind being single. I'm okay with being single. I'm okay with having a comfortable lifestyle, even if I have to provide it for myself." But the alternative is always to, why don't we be polygamy? Whether it's him having multiple women, or because we don't hear it that much when it comes to a woman having two men now. When in most cases when men talk about polygamy, they are talking about having more than one woman. Because I have heard black men say all the time, well, if men wasn't created to be monogamous, where was this proven in science that men was not created to? Because nowhere in science, in biology, does it say a woman is monogamous. Nowhere does it say that. So, and this is a thing that a lot of black men do. They repeat what each other says.
Interesting.
Instead of doing real research on things, they just repeat what they hear others say, and they don't do research to get really educated on what they're talking about.
I believe in you, Kim. I believe in you.
Right.
I'm glad you do, because I definitely believe in myself.
I thought you were going to say that y'all believe in you too. See what I'm saying?
No, she ain't gonna believe
You know what? Listen, I can say that, but Jimmy be trying to be funny. So, I don't know which way he got to go. So I have to go that way before he get there. So I'm gonna be there first.
Oh, okay, I got you. Trying to step ahead. Okay.
Plus, people talking about polygamy. You come in having not dealt with your mommy and your daddy issues, making how much an hour? I'm not even gonna go there.
Can't provide for themselves.
Somewhere stuck in the wealth gap, and now you want to bring pH imbalance to the table too.
We got
exactly.
Right. I kept looking at y'all like, why are we even going down this path?
Hold on.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I brought it back. I'm sorry.
What y'all talk about is detailed little situations in a relationship. We're talking about just polygamy. You being with two women, or me being with two women, that'd be great. You know what I'm saying? And what it is can he provide for the two women? If he can't, how you know?
Because
Men have, and we're not even right. Exactly, and that's not even. We're not even talking about, and we're not even going to talk about financially. Like it's other things that, of course, we know men provide. He can't even be emotionally stable for himself. Like you're mentally, emotionally, like. You have to be in tune with one woman, let alone how you gonna be in tune with two women.
Okay,
come on, like they have issues now.
Let me say this, because y'all picking little situations to ruin the whole situation. Say there's a guy that comes and has it all. He has what it takes to take care of two of y'all, like they used to do with kings. I got the whole castle. He took care of the people, the community, and all his wives. There were guys like that, right? So say you run across that guy that can take care of both of y'all. You're going to deny it. Why? Because of your feelings, not because your future could be handled and taken care of, and your kids too. Y'all going to deny it because of your feelings. When
it's not about feelings.
I don't think he heard what I said about pH and balance. Some of us care about
exactly. Like you know what? You said, and you said king. When you said a king, he had wives.
Two women.
Say that again. Houston,
y'all willing to go through the struggle?
I said he got
and
enough money
deny that man that can take care of you, that wants two women. Y'all willing to go through the struggle instead of this man?
What is the struggle? What do you mean? What's the struggle? What is a struggle?
Apparently, being single is
everybody in America is struggling right now. So we mean, what is the struggle? Just because you have a happy day,
you can't say everyone is struggling because everyone is not struggling.
We in America, we all struggling.
Everyone is not struggling.
No, I'm gonna let you speak that over yourself.
Hold on. Y'all all happy with everything in your life?
Some people are.
You will never be happy with everything in your life. I don't care.
Jimmy, I'm with you. But now there are folks, even when things are great and the CNN saying, "Hey, the economy's great," somebody's still struggling. No matter what, it's always gonna be a struggle.
Exactly.
But what you're saying is implying that just because you're with this person means you're not going to have those kind of struggles, which is a false argument.
You're basing it on money. How many people do we see?
Right, it's not about money.
Right, but that's what I was about to say. How many people do we see every day getting divorced and they bringing in $200,000-$400,000 a year? They still money's not an issue.
Right.
They still separate because they can't get along. So even if you got
and they still have the same problem we do. The relationship part will change.
Problems. Their problem just ain't financial. Sometimes it is because they still want too much stuff. So to me,
we still break up for the same reason. Because to me, Jada Pinkett and Will, that should be nothing that Jada should be complaining about.
Let me ask you, would you have a boyfriend and a sugar daddy?
Say that again.
Would you have a boyfriend and a sugar daddy? Would you have a boyfriend that you have to build a relationship with? But a guy that says, I don't have no sexual relationships, I just want to take care of you financially. Would you consider having both of those?
No, I wouldn't.
But see, Jim,
everything comes with something.
People
I wouldn't trust that.
Right. I mean, Jimmy, it depends on the group of people. Now, that same question can be asked on a different panel, and you got
somebody would.
I will. God knows I will. Where he at?
Yeah. Right.
It depends on who you're dealing with. I mean, and it's just natural. There's some guys the same way. There's some guys that do that now.
Right.
You know, so it's just
with a girlfriend and a sugar mama.
A girlfriend, a sugar mama, and a wife at the house.
Right.
Whatever. And he doing it on a $65,000 salary.
I've seen him do it.
Right.
I've seen
so check this out, you guys. We're right at the end of the segment for the day, but before we go, I want to do something. Yeah.
I done told you to make it 2 hours.
Let's go through the comments. Who want to read the comments? We can go through them. Let's read the good one. I'm putting them on the screen. Scott, you want to read them?
I can't see them, but yeah, I'll be happy to.
Shania, let me know which one you want us to tackle too.
Men, especially Black men, have to endure a lot in today's society. So a lot of their perspective is through pain and survival. That's a good response. Right. White people did it to us, so we all put up a wall and it was passed down. Okay. move
Not
forward.
all.
Yeah,
That
let's
might have been
move
true
on.
in the past, but
Now
we
look,
got to find a way now to change that.
systemically, we're gonna put that in the systemic pile.
Right. And make sure, so now say the name, whenever you read it too.
Okay, sorry about that. Terrence
Huh?
Lamont. Black people don't know who they are. They don't know the truth about us. Generally speaking, I can agree with that for sure. S. Nicole 1022 said it's having some grace and compassion, even if you discuss an issue. So not lenience, but definitely grace, leading with empathy.
I agree.
Felicia Sutton says you have to heal first and work on yourself. Absolutely. Don't be picking up no people with no baggage. S. Nicole 1022. Some things don't come to the surface until you're in a relationship. However, it's still ultimately their responsibility. We can encourage, but not fix it. Facts. Don't go into a relationship trying to be the therapist.
Yeah.
That's not your
Come
role.
on, Nicole.
Jessica Harris, you have to work on yourself and your partner has to work on their own selves. Not saying that you're completely healed when you get together. That's where you support each other through it, but you can't heal your partner for them. 100%. Jessica Harris, healing together first starts with accountability to yourself, for yourself. Your partner can only support you through it. Yes, indeed. You got to know when to go, though. Terrence Lamont said it started with slavery. You couldn't sell each other love because master was going to sell you to someone else. So when slavery was over, it was never taught how to heal and love by the parents. So the cycle just kept going on. That was a part of it. Now, we all know there was life before slavery. So let's just insert that in there, too.
Yeah,
and there was life after slavery.
I'm tired of people.
Unapologetic manhood said certain males are undiagnosed because of the baby mama culture. Say more about that, because I don't even know what that means.
Like that's casting blame.
I can say something about that.
What's that?
There's not a source or men willing to sit in a group, like you said. There's no support group for men. There's no group to teach and show men how to bounce back from these baby mama terrorists. The ones who they take your baby and don't give two shits about you, not knowing that it's only affecting her and the baby and him at the same time. It's nothing but an effect. So
but see, you said that. You said that, and that might be true for your community, but my community is full of male circles, full of men working to stop the violence, full of men working to mentor young children, full of men coaching kids for free, full of men supporting men, full of fathers building other fathers. So that might be an initiative y'all could consider starting in your own community. Jessica Harris says, right, you have to get to the root of it.
But do research first to see if there is, in fact, not or is. You have to,
because it might be.
Not just say it's not. Because it might be.
Yeah. S. Nicole 1022 said, true, a lot of women are attracted to bad boys and drug dealers. I mean, they tell good stories. However, growing up around it and seeing what happens, I don't.
If that's what they're attracted to, they got to heal that place.
You hear me?
That's
S. Nicole
it
said, it depends on your circle. I know more men with degrees and trades. See, that's what I'm saying. I know a few six-figure men.
Yeah, I know several.
Mm-hmm.
See, everybody okay.
Terrence Lamont says, everybody is not husband material and everybody is not wife material. Well,
that is true.
I say it again.
All right, check this one out.
Opulent Jade said, polygamy is allowed in Islam, but one is best if you but knew. Your average Black woman can't deal with polygamy. Sorry, not sorry. It takes a level of maturity to deal with polygamy. I agree with that.
I agree with that.
And the desire to do so, because some of us just don't want to do that.
Yeah, most of Americans.
What's up?
Because I think we weren't brought up to even think about that.
Most of Americans are immature anyway.
Golden Music says, struggle is the byproduct of force. What's up, Golden? Shout out to you. What's the benefit? I mean, there were times when nations joined because of polygamy, but I mean, we ain't got no nations to join. As Nicole 1022 says, I know a few women who are getting money from a man. Tell them, let me hold something.
Right. Of course there are some.
See what I'm saying? All y'all want that little bad thug money. See?
All right, you guys, we're at the end of the day. For the ones who's watching, go ahead and like, share to your page. It definitely help us out. We'll be back next week. Next week will be Christmas weekend. We're gonna do something fun for Christmas. But other than that, you guys, I enjoyed everyone. Great topic. You guys did good. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you everybody for tuning in.
Right.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Peace.